Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. Today, we're making this. So let's stop wasting time and get started. In the entryway to our house, we don't really have anything to sit on to put your shoes on, and for 2 years we've been living here, I've been meaning to buy something. But I had a day off, so I figured I'd build something for it and try and get it done in a single day. Now this bench is built out of 2x4s. I bought 6 2x4s that are 104 inches, and this is the overall cut list. 5 of them I cut down to 58 because that's going to be my width, but if you want to know the exact way they're cut, just go ahead and pause on the cut list. I'm sure you could figure it out. Now I could have just screwed everything together, but I wanted this to look nice. I didn't want any invisible hardware, no screws, no nails, and I wanted it to be perfectly smooth, not just a bunch of 2x4s lapped together. So I went the extra mile and planed everything. Now in planing everything, this basically tripled the time. Almost 4 of the hours dedicated to this project was planing and making it smooth. Now if you were to build this, you don't need to do it, but I love the look of planed pine. Look at that. Anyway, I started with the legs. I'm trying to get this all done in a day, so glue up first. And the way I figured it out is I cut a bunch that were shorter and some that were longer. And I made the short ones 15 inches so they'd all be exact. And I'm just alternating. Short, long, short, long. And the astute of you will realize that the gap in between these is where the actual boards that make up the seat are going to go. Which is why the short ones need to be exact. If they're sitting directly on it, this will make sure they are all at the right height and the same height. Now the reason I started with this and gluing them all up is this way, after they're glued together and the glue is set, I can run them through the planer and get them to a good thickness and get them perfectly flat. It's nothing I have to worry about alignment in any way. As long as the bottom is set and those short studs are all the same length, I'm good to go. So while those dry, those 2 legs, I'm going to go ahead and get the 5 bench studs, the 5 bench boards, whatever, the piece you sit on. I'm going to get those cut and milled down to length. So I'm just getting them trimmed up to 3 inches, and then I'm going to go run them through the planer and get them the same thickness. Now I'm in the middle of building a bench, so I don't have anywhere for this to sit, and I don't have anything long enough to make a bunch of repeat cuts. So I'm just using the wall. If you haven't noticed, my table saw has been my bench workspace for all this build, and I'm just setting up the right distance from the wall so I can get repeat cuts. It worked. As I said earlier, I'm trying to get this all done in a single day, so these things have only been sitting for a couple hours. Most of them are screwed together except that last cap. That's just glued on and pressured on for like 2 or 3 hours, so it should stay together. Fingers crossed nothing falls apart. And I'm happy to say nothing fell apart, although I did make a lot of shavings that I still need to clean up. It's just sitting outside my garage right now. I should get on top of that. I'll do it later. Anyway, as I said earlier, I didn't cut anything exact except those short studs in the center, so I got everything trimmed up to the exact measurements now after everything was glued and planed, so that way it looked nice. The assembly is very simple. You just glue and then set these boards in the center. I made the mistake of trying to do both of them at once, and you can see me here rectifying that mistake. I just need to set one side down while I get one side set. Glue dries quick, and this was a tight fit. But I'll take tight over loose. I don't want any gaps or anything showing. That'd be ugly. I made sure to run all these boards just slightly proud, so that way I can trim them and plane them out afterwards. As you can see, this build and assembly is dead simple, so that's why it's a short video. It would be even shorter if I just screwed everything together instead of planing and, gluing it, but it's going to be in the entryway. Right now, there's no place to sit to put on shoes, and also my wife keeps stacking everything up there. If it's going to go in her car, maybe she's going to donate it. Maybe she's going to give it to her sister. We don't know, but it sits there for weeks on end, and I can't say anything about it. But if I build something that goes there... But really, I just want somewhere to sit so I can put shoes on. I'm fat and lazy. I don't want to walk to the kitchen every time I need to put shoes on. How much time do you think I have?
3 hours later.
As I said earlier, I'm trying to get this done in a day. I should have let it sit longer with the glue, but I had stuff to do. So after a couple hours, I used this flattening jig I made to flatten out all the proud points of it. And scraped glue and sanded. I didn't put much video or footage of me scraping glue and sanding. I don't think you want to watch that. Maybe you do. I don't know. I don't know what you're about. Maybe you clicked on this video on the so hopes you'd see a lot of sanding. Sorry to disappoint. But I did spend a decent amount sanding and actually rounding over these inside edges. I sat down on it and it was fine, but if you move back or forth and you have any tiddly widdly bits in between your legs, you will feel those sharp corners. But the one regret I have is I should have just used shellac. It would have required a lot of shellac, but it would have been a nicer finish, and I like the look of pine. I like the bleached tan look of it. I think it would have complemented the couch I'm putting in front of. Now, I'm not saying I dislike the way it looks, but I should have used a clear coat. This was a shorter video. It's a simple build, and I couldn't justify spending more time on it, so if you enjoyed it, if this gave you an idea or you were inspired, go ahead and give a like, comment, subscribe would be great. I do appreciate it. It does help me build these videos knowing that people out there get some value from them. And I hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks.